Dr. Lisa Martinez checked her tablet one more time as the human ship moved closer to the alien space station. 3 years had passed since first contact with the Galactic Council. Now Earth was finally ready to join them as an official member. Lisa felt nervous but excited. She was the lead scientist for this historic mission. Captain Jake Thompson sat in the pilot seat, watching the massive alien station grow larger on the screen. It looked like a giant metal flower floating in space. Hundreds of different alien ships docked at its arms. Each ship looked completely different from the others. "Never seen anything like it," Jake said quietly. "Hard to believe we're really here." Ambassador Paul Green walked into the control room. He wore his best diplomatic uniform and carried a briefcase full of important documents. Paul had spent months preparing for this moment. Everything had to go perfectly. "The Council is waiting for us," Paul said. "They want to review our planet's biology files as part of the membership process. Every new species has to do this." Lisa nodded. She had put together a complete catalog of Earth's animals and plants. It was her life's work. She felt proud of how thorough it was. The catalog included everything from tiny insects to giant whales. She had pictures, videos, and detailed information about each species. Their ship docked at the station with a soft bump. The airlock opened with a hiss. Lisa grabbed her bag and followed Paul and Jake through the metal corridors. The gravity felt different here, lighter than Earth's. The walls glowed with a soft blue light. They entered a huge round room filled with strange creatures. Some looked like giant lizards walking on 2 legs. Others resembled massive insects with multiple arms. A few seemed to be made of living gas, floating in clear containers. A tall reptilian alien approached them. Its scales were dark green and its eyes were bright yellow. It spoke through a translation device that made its voice sound mechanical. "Welcome, humans. I am Zix Thara, head of biological sciences for the Council. We are eager to review your planet's life forms." Paul shook the alien's clawed hand carefully. "Thank you for this opportunity. We've prepared everything you requested." Lisa stepped forward and handed over her tablet. "This contains our complete biological catalog, over 2 million documented species." Zix Thara's eyes widened. 2 million? That is quite extensive for a single world. An insect-like alien with 4 arms and compound eyes joined them. Its translation? Device buzzed slightly. "I am Veltani, security chief. We must scan all biological data for potential threats before approval." Lisa felt confused. "Threats? These are just animals and plants from our world." Veltani took the tablet and connected it to a large alien computer. The screen lit up with Earth species catalog. Veltani selected the first entry, a common house cat. Immediately, red warning lights flashed throughout the room. An alarm began to wail. The computer screen displayed angry red text in alien symbols. "What's happening?" Paul asked, looking around nervously. Zix Thara stared at the screen in horror. "This creature, it possesses retractable claws, enhanced night vision, and silent movement capabilities. Your computer lists it as a pet, but our system classifies it as a Class A biological weapon." Lisa blinked in surprise. "That's just a house cat. Humans. Keep them as companions. They catch mice and sleep in sunny spots. It hunts smaller creatures for sport?" Veltani asked, all 4 arms trembling. "And you allow these killers in your homes?" "They're very gentle with humans," Lisa tried to explain. "Children play with them safely." The aliens exchanged worried looks. Zix Thara moved to the next entry, a golden retriever. The alarms got louder. "Pack hunting organism with enhanced scent tracking and bite force of 320 pounds per square inch," the computer announced. "Capable of sustained pursuit and takedown of large prey." "That's a dog," Lisa said desperately. "People love dogs. They're loyal and friendly. This one would probably just want to play fetch." "Play fetch?" Zix Thara repeated slowly. "You train these beasts to retrieve objects on command?" "For fun," Lisa said. "Dogs enjoy games. Jake stepped closer to Lisa. He could see this was going badly. The aliens looked terrified of every animal they saw. Veltani clicked on a dolphin. The computer went crazy with warnings. Biological sonar system capable of stunning prey, high intelligence, lives in coordinated military-style pods. Classification: naval assault organism. Dolphins are smart and friendly, Lisa said. They save drowning humans sometimes. People swim with them for entertainment. You enter the water with armed aquatic predators voluntarily? Zixathara asked, backing away from the screen. Paul tried to take control of the situation. Perhaps there's been some kind of computer error. These are normal animals from our world? Veltani selected a honeybee. The warnings continued. Miniature aerial unit with chemical weapon delivery system. Operates in coordinated swarms. Suicide attack capability confirmed. They make honey, Lisa said weakly. It's sweet. Humans eat it. You consume the products of biological weapons? Several aliens gasped. The catalog continued to cause chaos. Squirrels were classified as parkour infiltration specialists. Sharks became aquatic attack vessels. Even earthworms triggered warnings as underground tunneling units. More aliens gathered around the screen. They whispered to each other in their strange languages. Their translation devices created a buzz of worried conversations. An elderly alien with tentacles instead of arms floated over in a mobility chair. I am Council Elder Blixara. What is the meaning of this disturbance? Zixthara turned to the elder. The human world appears to be entirely populated by biological weapons. Every species in their catalog triggers our threat detection systems. Elder Blixara studied the screen. A butterfly appeared, showing its bright colors. Even this triggered a mild warning about chemical warfare through mimicry and toxin advertisement. Humans, the elder said slowly. How do you survive on such a dangerous world? Lisa, Paul, and Jake looked at each other. They had never thought of Earth as dangerous. It was just home. We've always lived with these animals, Paul said. They're part of our world's natural balance. Natural balance? Veltani asked. You mean they haven't destroyed each other yet? Or you, Zixthara added. Lisa realized they needed to explain everything from the beginning. Earth was very different from other worlds in the galaxy. What seemed normal to humans was completely alien to the aliens. The meeting was just getting started, and it was already more complicated than anyone had expected. 2 weeks after the disaster at the council meeting, Dr. Sam Rodriguez stood in his marine biology lab staring at a video call from Earth's capital. He had been working late studying whale songs when the emergency message arrived. Now, government officials wanted him to drop everything and join the crisis team. Dr. Rodriguez, we need you on the next transport to the council station, said the woman on the screen. She looked tired and stressed. The situation is getting worse every day. Sam rubbed his eyes. I still don't understand why they think dolphins are weapons. I've been swimming with them for 20 years. That's exactly why we need you, the woman replied. The aliens are sending inspection teams to Earth. They want to see our biological weapons in person. 3 days later, Sam found himself on a cramped government shuttle heading back to the council station. Agent Kate Miller sat across from him, reading classified files on her tablet. She worked for Earth Defense Force Intelligence and looked like she hadn't slept in weeks. The aliens think we're planning to invade the galaxy, Kate said without looking up. Every animal on Earth makes them panic. Yesterday they classified garden snails as armored reconnaissance units because they can hide in their shells. Sam laughed despite the serious situation. Garden snails? They move about as fast as paint drying. It's not funny, Kate said. 3 alien worlds have already started building defense systems. They think Earth is going to attack them with an army of cats and dogs. When they arrived at the station, Sam met the rest of the human team. Dr. Lisa Martinez looked exhausted. Ambassador Paul Green paced back and forth in their small quarters. Captain Jake Thompson sat quietly cleaning his sidearm, though weapons weren't allowed on the station. How bad is it? Sam asked Lisa. Worse than we thought, she replied. The council voted to send a full inspection team to Earth. They want to examine every dangerous species in person. The next morning, Sam found himself face to face with the inspection team. The leader was a blue amphibian creature called Brixolin. It had wet, slimy skin and bulging eyes that moved independently. Its breathing apparatus made wet bubbling sounds. "Human Rodriguez," Brixolin said through its translator. "You will explain the aquatic weapon systems of your world." "They're not weapons," Sam said patiently. "They're marine animals. They live in the ocean and lakes. Our data shows creatures with biological sonar, electrical discharge capabilities, and pressure-resistant armor plating," Brixolin replied. "These are clearly military technologies." Sam brought up a video of dolphins playing in the waves. The aliens watching gasped and stepped backward as the dolphins jumped out of the water. "See how they leap?" Sam said. "They do this for fun. Dolphins are playful and intelligent." "Aerial assault capabilities," whispered one of the alien inspectors. "They can attack from above the water surface." Sam tried a different approach. He showed them a video of a dolphin helping a lost swimmer find shore. The aliens watched in horror as the dolphin gently pushed the human toward safety. "It's manipulating the human," Brixolin said, "steering them toward a trap." "It's rescuing them," Sam protested. "Dolphins have saved many human lives." "Why would a weapon save its target?" asked another inspector. Sam realized the aliens couldn't understand cooperation between species. On their worlds, different animals never helped each other. The idea of dolphins saving humans made no sense to them. Things got worse when Sam showed them footage of whales. The inspection team nearly fled the room when they saw a blue whale surface for air. "Massive biological submarine," Brixolin said, shaking with fear. "Displacement of 200 tons, capable of deep-sea operations and surface attacks." "It's just breathing," Sam said. "Whales are mammals. They need air like we do." "It surfaces to scout for targets," insisted the inspector. Sam played whale songs through the speakers. The beautiful, haunting calls filled the room. Several aliens covered their hearing organs. "Communication system," Brixolin announced. "Long-range acoustic coordination for fleet operations." "They're singing," Sam said desperately. "It's how whales talk to each other across long distances. Sometimes they sing for hours just because they want to." "Psychological warfare," concluded one inspector. "Designed to confuse enemy forces." The inspection continued with other marine life. Octopi were classified as shape-shifting infiltration units because they could change color and squeeze through small spaces. The fact that humans kept some in aquariums for education was seen as evidence of weapons research. Sharks caused complete panic. When Sam showed footage of great whites hunting, 3 aliens fainted. The remaining inspectors declared Earth's oceans a no-go zone for all civilized species. "Humans swim in water with these killing machines," Brixolin said in disbelief. "Your species has either evolved beyond fear or you are the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy." "Most sharks ignore humans," Sam explained. "Shark attacks are very rare. You're more likely to be struck by lightning." "You have electrical weapons in your atmosphere too?" gasped an inspector. Sam gave up trying to explain lightning. He realized the aliens lived on worlds so different from Earth that they couldn't understand natural processes like weather, predation, or evolution. Later that day, Agent Kate Miller received terrible news from Earth. The alien inspection teams had arrived at major cities around the world. They were scanning every zoo, aquarium, and pet store. The results were causing mass panic among alien populations. "They went to the Bronx Zoo yesterday," Kate told the team. "When they saw the lion exhibit, they called for immediate evacuation of the solar system." "What did the lions do?" Lisa asked. "Nothing special. One of them yawned," Kate replied. The aliens classified it as threat display behavior and declared New York a military installation. Ambassador Paul Green sat down heavily. "How do we explain that lions yawn because they're sleepy?" The situation grew more absurd by the hour. Alien news networks were broadcasting emergency warnings about Earth's biological weapons program. Videos of children walking dogs were shown as evidence of child soldier training. Pet stores were described as weapons distribution centers. Sam watched the news coverage with growing dismay. The aliens showed footage of a nature documentary about African wildlife. When a cheetah began chasing a gazelle, the alien reporter announced that Earth had deployed high-speed pursuit units in live combat exercises. "They think nature documentaries are military training films," Sam said. "At least they haven't seen the one about crocodiles yet," Jake muttered. That evening, Brixolin called an emergency meeting. The alien inspection leader looked even more frightened than before. "We have discovered something disturbing," Brixolin announced. "Humans not only live with these weapons, but they deliberately breed them. Your pet stores are weapons manufacturing facilities." "Pet breeding isn't weapons development," Lisa protested. "People breed dogs and cats because they want companions. You modify their genetics for specific traits," Brixolin accused. "Enhanced size, improved senses, increased aggression. This is clearly military research." Sam realized they were talking about dog breeds. German shepherds were seen as enhanced assault units. Bloodhounds were biological tracking systems. Even tiny chihuahuas were classified as portable alarm devices because they barked at strangers. The meeting ended with Brixolin making a terrifying announcement. The council was considering 3 options: quarantine Earth forever, remove all dangerous life forms from the planet, or sterilize the entire world to protect the galaxy. As the humans returned to their quarters, Sam felt the weight of Earth's future on his shoulders. Somehow they had to make the aliens understand that Earth's wildlife wasn't an army of weapons. They were just animals trying to survive, the same as life everywhere else in the universe. But first, they had to convince creatures from peaceful worlds that predators, prey, and the entire cycle of life wasn't a plot to conquer the galaxy. Colonel Ben Adams arrived at the council station with terrible news from Earth. Military bases around the world were on high alert. 3 alien fleets had moved to the edge of human space. Everyone feared that war might start at any moment. Dr. Amy Foster met him at the docking bay. She was one of Earth's best scientists who studied how life evolved over millions of years. The government had sent her to help explain why Earth's animals seemed so dangerous to the aliens. "How bad is it down there?" Amy asked as they walked through the station corridors. Ben shook his head. "The aliens think our police dogs are military attack units. They saw horses carrying mounted officers and declared it proof that humans use biological cavalry. Yesterday they found out about military working dogs and nearly started shooting." Amy felt sick to her stomach. "Military working dogs are just trained to find bombs and drugs. They save lives." "Try explaining that to beings who think a golden retriever is a weapon," Ben replied. They found the rest of the human team in an emergency meeting. Ambassador Paul Green looked older than he had a month ago. Dr. Lisa Martinez and Dr. Sam Rodriguez sat at a table covered with alien documents and Earth biology books. "The situation is getting worse," Paul told them. "The aliens discovered that humans train animals for specific jobs. They think it proves we have a military biological complex." Amy sat down and opened her laptop. "What exactly have they found?" Lisa pulled up a report on her tablet. "Everything. Guard dogs, seeing eye, dogs, search and rescue dogs, therapy horses, detection animals, you name it. They see all animal training as weapons development. The worst part," Sam added, "is that they found out about genetic modification. They think selective breeding is the same as making biological weapons." Ben stood up and walked to the window. Outside, alien ships moved back and forth like angry wasps. "I've got generals on Earth asking me if we should prepare for invasion. The aliens have better technology, but our biological weapons have them terrified." A soft chime announced an incoming message. The screen showed Quinn Threshold, a gaseous alien who served as the Council's military strategist. It floated in a clear container filled with purple vapor. "Human delegation." Quinn Threshold's voice buzzed through the translator. "We have discovered disturbing new evidence about your species' military preparations." "What evidence?" Paul asked, though he dreaded the answer. "Your people maintain facilities where you keep the most dangerous creatures from your world in captivity," Quinn Threshold said. "You study them, breed them, and display them to your population. We can only conclude these are research and training facilities. Amy realized they were talking about zoos. Those are zoos, she said. We keep animals there to protect endangered species and educate people about wildlife. You claim to protect beings you classify as weapons? Quinn Threshold asked. This suggests you are building strategic reserves. We're trying to save them from going extinct, Amy explained. Many species are in danger because humans have damaged their habitats. Zoos help breed them so their species can survive. You admit to damaging their natural military installations and relocating the weapons to secure facilities, Quinn Threshold said. This is clearly advanced military planning. Ben stepped forward. With respect, you're misunderstanding everything. Humans aren't preparing for war. We're trying to protect our planet's wildlife. Then explain this, Quinn Threshold said. The screen showed footage from a zoo where trainers were working with dolphins. Your personnel are conducting training exercises with aquatic assault units. Amy watched the video. The trainers were teaching dolphins to jump through hoops and respond to hand signals. To humans, it looked like fun entertainment. To the aliens, it looked like military drills. They're performing for visitors, Amy said. People enjoy watching. Dolphins do tricks. It's entertainment. You train biological weapons to follow commands for the amusement of your population? Quinn Threshold sounded horrified. This suggests your entire society is organized around warfare. The conversation continued to get worse. The aliens had found footage of horse shows, dog competitions, and even cat shows. Every human activity involving animals was seen as evidence of military preparation. Your breeding programs have created specialized variants, Quinn Threshold continued. Racing horses for high-speed reconnaissance, hunting dogs for tracking and assault, guard dogs for perimeter security. Each breed is designed for specific military functions. Amy tried a different approach. These animals evolved naturally over millions of years. Humans just guided their breeding to enhance traits we found useful. It's not weapons development, it's domestication. You have been developing these biological weapons for millions of years? Several alien voices gasped through the communicator. No, Amy said quickly. Evolution is natural. All life changes over time to survive better in their environment. Your world is so dangerous that life forms must constantly adapt to become more lethal? Quinn Threshold asked. Ben realized they were making things worse with every explanation. The aliens came from peaceful worlds where evolution had been gentle. They couldn't understand a planet where survival meant being tough, fast, or smart. Lisa tried to help. Earth has many different environments. Animals adapt to live in forests, deserts, oceans, and mountains. They develop different abilities to find food and avoid danger. Your planet contains multiple combat zones requiring specialized biological weapons. Quinn Threshold was getting more agitated. How many theaters of warfare does your world maintain? They're not warfare zones, Sam said desperately. They're just different places where animals live. A fish needs different abilities than a bird. You have aerial, terrestrial, and aquatic military forces, Quinn Threshold concluded. Full-spectrum biological warfare capabilities. Amy stood up and faced the screen. Let me show you something. She pulled up images of Earth's fossil record. This is what Earth's animals looked like millions of years ago. The aliens saw pictures of dinosaurs, giant mammals, and prehistoric creatures. The silence stretched for several minutes. Your world previously contained even larger biological weapons? Quinn Threshold finally asked. Most of them went extinct, Amy explained. Natural disasters, climate changes, and other events killed them off. The animals alive today are smaller and less dangerous than what came before. You are saying Earth's current biological arsenal is only a fraction of its former capability? Multiple alien voices spoke at once through the communicator. Ben put his head in his hands. Everything they said made the situation worse. We have reached a decision, Quinn Threshold announced. The Council will vote tomorrow on immediate action to protect the galaxy from Earth's biological weapons program. The three options are total quarantine, biological sterilization, or supervised disarmament. Supervised disarmament? Paul asked. We will remove all dangerous life forms from your world and replace them with peaceful species from Council worlds. Quinn Threshold explained. Your people will be relocated to supervised colonies where you cannot develop new biological weapons. Me felt cold. The aliens wanted to destroy Earth's entire ecosystem and imprison humanity. You can't do that, she said. Billions of people live on Earth. Our whole civilization depends on our planet's ecosystem. Biological weapons cannot be allowed to threaten galactic peace, Quinn Threshold replied. The vote will take place in 18 Earth hours. The communication ended, leaving the humans alone in the room. Outside the window, more alien ships had arrived. The station was preparing for something big. We have less than a day to change their minds, Paul said quietly. Ben looked at his watch. I need to warn Earth Command. If the aliens vote for sterilization, we'll have to consider all options. Amy stared at the fossil images still on her screen. Somehow, she had to make creatures from gentle worlds understand that Earth's apparent violence was actually the beauty of natural selection, life competing and cooperating to create the amazing diversity that made their planet special. But first, she had to convince them that humanity wasn't secretly planning to conquer the galaxy with an army of cats, dogs, and dolphins. Dr. Chris Bailey had never expected to be pulled away from his dinosaur bones to save the world. The paleontologist arrived at the council station just 6 hours before the aliens planned to vote on Earth's fate. General Laura Scott came with him, along with President Helen Carter herself. The situation had become so serious that Earth's highest leaders were now involved. President Carter looked grim as she reviewed the classified files that intelligence agencies had prepared. We're authorizing full disclosure, President Carter told the human team. Everything. Our genetic research, our synthetic biology programs, even our theoretical bioweapons studies. Maybe transparency will convince them we're not planning an invasion. Ambassador Paul Green shook his head. Ma'am, with respect, that might make things worse. They already think our regular animals are weapons. We're out of options, the president replied. The vote happens in 6 hours. Dr. Chris Bailey spread out his fossil photos on the conference table. He had spent his career studying creatures that lived millions of years ago. Now he had to use that knowledge to save Earth's future. Maybe I can help them understand evolution, Chris said. If they see how life developed naturally over time, they might realize we didn't design these animals as weapons. General Scott looked doubtful. These aliens think a hamster is a threat. How will showing them a T-Rex help? 2 hours before the vote, Chris found himself standing before the full council assembly. Hundreds of alien beings filled the massive chamber. Some floated in gas containers, others stood on multiple legs, and a few existed as living crystals that glowed with inner light. The ancient hive mind Collective 7 spoke first. Its voice came from thousands of small insect-like creatures that moved as one organism. Human Bailey, you will explain your world's biological weapons development program. Earth doesn't have a biological weapons program, Chris said, trying to stay calm. We have evolution, natural selection, life changing over millions of years to survive. Chris activated his presentation. The first image showed simple, single-celled organisms from billions of years ago. This is how life began on Earth. Tiny, simple creatures in the ocean. The aliens seemed interested but not alarmed. Single cells didn't look dangerous. Over time, these organisms became more complex, Chris continued. He showed pictures of early fish, amphibians, and reptiles. They developed new abilities to find food, avoid predators, and reproduce. A crystalline council member pulsed with red light. This supports our theory. Your world has been systematically upgrading biological weapons for millions of years. No, Chris said desperately. They weren't upgrading anything. They were just trying to survive. When the environment changed, the animals that were best adapted lived and had babies. The ones that couldn't adapt died out. Chris showed images of the Cambrian explosion when life forms rapidly diversified. The aliens gasped as they saw ancient trilobites, giant sea scorpions, and other prehistoric creatures. These animals lived 500 million years ago, Chris explained. They developed armor, claws, and other features because they needed protection from predators. Your world has maintained continuous biological warfare for 500 million years? Elder Blixara asked in horror. It's not warfare, Chris said. It's nature. Plants and animals compete for resources. They also cooperate and help each other. It's all part of the balance of life. The presentation continued with dinosaurs. When Chris showed a Tyrannosaurus Rex, several aliens fainted. Others activated emergency shields around their seating areas. This is your world's ultimate biological weapon, Hive Mind Collective 7 declared. 40-foot long, teeth like knives, powerful enough to crush vehicles. They went extinct 65 million years ago, Chris said. A meteor hit Earth and changed the climate. The dinosaurs couldn't adapt, so they died out. Only small mammals survived. You eliminated the large weapons when they became obsolete, interpreted a tentacled alien. Then you developed smaller, more efficient weapons. Chris wanted to scream. Every fact he presented was twisted into evidence of Earth's supposed weapons program. He tried showing them mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and giant bears from the ice. Age. More specialized weapons for cold climate warfare, concluded Quinn Threshold. Your ancestors survived alongside these killing machines, proving humans are the ultimate biological weapon. We're not weapons, Chris protested. We're just smart. Humans learn to use tools, work together, and adapt to different environments. That's how we survived. President Carter stood up in the gallery. May I address the council? Elder Blixara nodded permission. The president walked to the center of the chamber, looking small among the massive alien beings. Honorable Council, members, President Carter began. I'm here to offer complete transparency about Earth's biological research. We have nothing to hide. She activated a new presentation showing Earth's actual scientific facilities. Research labs, universities, and government installations appeared on the screens. These are our real research facilities, the president said. We study genetics to cure diseases. We develop new crops to feed our people. We work to understand and protect our planet's life. The aliens saw images of gene therapy treating cancer, genetically modified crops growing in harsh conditions, and scientists working to save endangered species. You admit to modifying genetic structures, gasped several council members. This is proof of biological weapons development. We use genetic engineering to help people, President Carter explained, to make better medicines, healthier food, and cleaner energy. She showed them insulin production in bacteria, vaccines grown in chicken eggs, and biodegradable plastics made from modified organisms. Weaponized bacteria, biological delivery systems, and degradable materials for stealth operations, Quinn Threshold interpreted. President Carter looked frustrated. These technologies save lives and protect the environment. Show them the containment facilities, General Scott suggested quietly. The president hesitated, then activated classified files. The aliens saw high-security biological research labs with airlock systems, protective suits, and isolation chambers. These facilities study dangerous diseases, President Carter said. We research viruses and bacteria that could cause pandemics. We develop treatments and vaccines to protect people. The council chamber erupted in panic. Aliens activated emergency protocols and began evacuating to secure areas. You maintain weapons-grade biological agents in military facilities, Hive Mind. Collective 7 accused. This confirms our worst fears about human intentions. We're protecting people from natural diseases, the president protested. These viruses exist in nature. We study them to develop defenses. Your world naturally produces biological weapons, Elder Blixara said, and you have spent centuries learning to weaponize them further. Dr. Bailey tried one last approach. Let me show you what Earth looked like before humans developed technology. He displayed images of pristine forests, vast grasslands, and teeming oceans from thousands of years ago. This is what we're trying to protect, Chris said. Humans are working to preserve these ecosystems and the animals that live in them. Habitat preservation for biological weapon stockpiles, Quinn Threshold concluded. Strategic resource management on a planetary scale. The vote was called. One by one, alien species cast their decisions. The results were overwhelming. 847 votes for immediate biological sterilization of Earth, 23 votes for quarantine, and only 3 votes for continued observation. The Council has decided, Elder Blixara announced. Earth will be sterilized of all biological weapons within 30 standard days. Human populations will be relocated to supervised worlds for their own protection and the safety of the galaxy. President Carter stared at the voting results in shock. General Scott was already on her communicator, sending emergency signals to Earth's defense forces. Dr. Bailey gathered his fossil photos with shaking hands. Millions of years of evolution, billions of species, and the entire history of life on Earth had just been sentenced to death. The aliens saw Earth's amazing biodiversity as a threat to galactic peace. In trying to protect the galaxy from imaginary biological weapons, they were about to destroy the most successful ecosystem in known space. Outside the council chamber, Chris could see the alien sterilization fleet gathering. Massive ships designed to burn entire worlds clean of life were moving toward Earth. Somehow, in the next 30 days, they had to find a way to save not just humanity, but every living thing on their planet. Dr. Maya Patel arrived at the council station with only 24 hours left before Earth's destruction. She was humanity's expert on how different species communicate and understand each other. The government had sent her as a last desperate hope. Captain Rick Stone came with her, piloting a special ship loaded with live animals from Earth. Maya had convinced Earth's leaders to try something completely different. Instead of explaining Earth's creatures, she wanted to show the aliens how they actually behaved. "This is crazy," Captain Stone said as they docked. "We're bringing a mobile zoo to aliens who think hamsters are weapons." "Sometimes you have to show instead of tell," Maya replied. She looked tired but determined. These aliens have never seen real predator-prey relationships or cooperation between species. Maya found the human team in emergency session. President Carter was on video calls with world leaders. General Scott was coordinating Earth's defenses. Dr. Chris Bailey sat quietly looking at his fossil pictures. 24 hours, Ambassador Paul Green told Maya. "That's all we have left." Maya nodded. "I need to speak with Elder Toxweaver. My research shows he's from a high-gravity world that once had diverse life forms. Toxweaver never speaks in council meetings," Lisa said. "He's ancient, even by alien standards." "Then it's time he started talking," Maya replied. Finding Elder Toxweaver took 6 precious hours. The ancient alien lived in the deepest part of the station, in chambers designed for creatures from heavy worlds. When Maya finally met him, she understood why he stayed hidden. Toxweaver looked like a massive boulder with 6 thick arms and tiny eyes. His skin was gray and cracked like old stone. When he moved, the floor shook. His voice was so deep that Maya felt it in her bones. "Human," Toxweaver rumbled. "Why do you disturb my rest? Your world will be clean in 18 hours. "Because you understand something the others don't," Maya said. "Your world used to have diverse life too, didn't it?" Toxweaver's tiny eyes focused on her. "How do you know this?" "Our scientists studied your planet's geology. We found fossil evidence of complex ecosystems, but now your world only has simple plants and small herbivores." "What happened?" Toxweaver was quiet for a long time. When he spoke, his voice was sad. "My people feared the predators. We eliminated them to make our world safe. Then we removed the larger herbivores because they competed for resources. Finally, we destroyed any creature that might threaten our agriculture." "And now?" Maya asked. "Gently, now our world is dying," Toxweaver admitted. "The soil grows poor without diverse life to maintain it. Our crops fail more each year. We have made our world too simple, and simplicity leads to death." Maya felt a spark of hope. "Would you like to see what a living ecosystem looks like?" "One hour later, Toxweaver followed Maya to Captain Stone's ship. Inside the cargo bay, Maya had created a small demonstration of Earth's ecosystem relationships. In one area, she had plants, soil bacteria, earthworms, and decomposing leaves. "This is how life recycles nutrients," Maya explained. "The worms break down dead material, bacteria process it further, and plants use the nutrients to grow. Toxweaver watched the earthworms moving through the soil. The other council members classify these as tunneling weapons. They're ecosystem engineers, Maya said. Without them, dead material would pile up, and nutrients would become locked away. The worms keep the whole system healthy. She moved to another area where honeybees moved between flowering plants. The council thinks these are attack drones, but watch what they're really doing. Toxweaver observed as the bees collected nectar and pollen, moving from flower to flower. They are feeding and pollinating, Maya said. The plants need the bees to reproduce. The bees need the plants for food. They help each other survive. Cooperation, Toxweaver said slowly. My world lost this when we eliminated species interactions. Maya saved the best demonstration for last. She brought out a golden retriever puppy and a small child from one of the human families on the station. The child sat on the floor and began playing with the puppy. Toxweaver watched in amazement as the puppy gently licked the child's face and rolled over for belly rubs. The child giggled and hugged the puppy carefully. The council sees this as weapons training, Maya said. What do you see? Care, Toxweaver said quietly. Protection. The large creature could harm the small one easily, but instead it shows affection. This is what we've been trying to explain, Maya said. Earth's creatures aren't weapons, they're part of a living system where species depend on each other. Toxweaver studied the child and puppy for a long time. My people once had such bonds with our world's creatures, before we destroyed them out of fear. Will you help us? Maya asked. The vote has already passed, Toxweaver said. I cannot change it alone. But you can call for a new session, Maya replied. As an elder, you have that right. 6 hours before Earth's destruction was scheduled to begin, Toxweaver called for an emergency council session. The aliens gathered reluctantly, eager to proceed with their sterilization mission. I request permission to demonstrate Earth's biological systems, Toxweaver announced. Elder Blixara looked surprised. Toxweaver, you have not spoken in council for 50 years. Why now? Because we are about to make a terrible mistake, Toxweaver replied. Maya brought her demonstrations into the council chamber. She showed the earthworms improving soil, the bees pollinating flowers, and bacteria breaking down waste material. These are not weapons, Toxweaver explained to the council. They are the foundation of a living world. Without them, ecosystems collapse. Some aliens began to look uncertain. Maya brought out more examples. She showed how spiders controlled pest insects, how birds spread seeds to grow new forests, and how large herbivores maintained grasslands by grazing. Each species has a role, Maya explained. Remove one, and the whole system can fail. Finally, she brought out the child and puppy again. The council watched as the two played together peacefully. This is not weapons training, Toxweaver said. This is the bond between species that makes a world truly alive. Maya played recordings of wolves howling, whales singing, and birds calling to their mates. This is not military communication. This is life celebrating itself. Slowly, some aliens began to understand. The insect-like Veltani spoke first. On my world, we eliminated all other species for efficiency. Now our crops are attacked by diseases we cannot control. Other council members shared similar stories. World after world had simplified their ecosystems and regretted it. Quinn Threshold finally spoke. If these are not weapons, why are they so capable? Because life is challenging, Maya said. Earth's creatures developed amazing abilities not for war but for survival. Speed to escape predators, strength to find food, intelligence to solve problems. And humans? Elder Blixara asked. We're just another species trying to survive, Maya replied. We learned to use tools and work together. Now we're trying to protect our world's amazing diversity. Elder Toxweaver stood up, his massive form towering over the chamber. I call for a new vote. Earth's biosphere should not be destroyed. It should be studied and protected as an example of what living worlds can achieve. The new vote was much closer. Many aliens had changed their minds after seeing Maya's demonstrations. The final result was 445 votes for protection, 398 votes for sterilization, and 27 abstentions. Captain Stone smiled as he watched the alien sterilization fleet turn away from Earth. "We actually did it." Maya hugged the child who had helped save the world. The golden retriever puppy wagged its tail, not understanding that it had just helped prevent the destruction of its entire planet. 3 months later, Dr. Maya Patel stood in a newly built research center on the Council Station. Alien scientists were learning about Earth's ecosystems, while human experts helped other worlds restore their damaged biospheres. Earth had been designated a guardian world, a planet whose biodiversity was considered a galactic treasure. Instead of being destroyed as a threat, Earth became the center for teaching other species about the beauty and importance of complex ecosystems. Maya watched through the window as alien children played with Earth puppies in a carefully designed habitat. The Council had learned that what they feared as weapons were actually the key to healthy, sustainable worlds. Earth's living arms had become its greatest gift to the galaxy.